Hey guys, good morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time y'all are tuning into the channel today. Just want to say thank you to each and every one of you. Today's a bittersweet day. Kids started back to school. My daughter started her first day of 8th grade, and Hambone started his first day of preschool. So it's kind of been a little bit emotional day here for the wife. It's definitely a bittersweet. I hate the fact that he's at school and we're not going to have as much time together during the day for videos, but it's also kind of nice. I'll be able to get a little bit more done. Sometimes I can't get all I want done during the day because he's right at the hip. But we're going to try to make the best of it. It's going to be a change because since I retired, he's been with me every day for the past year. But today I've got a little short video planned. I stopped earlier and I picked up a couple knives from Pocket Pawn over in Ozark. Done a lot of business with them. But today's going to be a cleanup video. So without any further ado, we're going to hop on over to the work table over here and get started. And I'll go over the knives that I picked up a little bit more, and then we'll get to cleaning. But I hope you guys enjoy the video, and God bless. Alright guys, so here's the knives I picked up today from the Pocket Pawn over in Ozark. I've done a lot of business with them guys, bought quite a few knives from them, traded some knives with them, but picked up this Victorinox Tinker. But first I wanted to highlight the Bearded Knife Guy Slate Coaster from Bubba over at Bubba's EDC. Got me some iced coffee. It's the first day of school for my kids, so me and the wife decided to treat ourselves after we dropped them off this morning. It was a rough day for her. Our youngest started preschool. So it's been an emotional roller coaster for her for sure, but gives me a little bit of free time. I'm gonna miss having Hambone with me every day, but in the same, it's gonna be kind of nice. I'll be able to get a little bit more done. But the first one I picked up here, guys, is a Victorinox. This is a Tinker. I love the Victorinox knives, guys. I've got quite a few. This one's in decent shape. It'll need some cleaning, but nothing major. Once I get it cleaned up, it'll go into my collection with the others. And this actually might not be the Tinker. This might be a Climber. I'll have to double check on that. But they had it in their little cheap couple dollar box, so when I seen it in there, I knew right away what it was. A lot of times they just have all their little cheap Chinese knives in there, but all three of these knives were in that box, and I paid $8 for all three of them. Definitely going to need some cleanup on them. That was the Tinker. This is a K-Bar Hong Kong. This is the Cleveland, Ohio. Obviously somebody had been doing some work with the blade. Gonna have to straighten that out. Definitely do some sanding and cleaning on the handles. Try to get a lot of that out. Looks like they heated up the blade, so again, there's no telling. Probably heated it up trying to fix whatever bend that they got in the tip. So I'll work on getting that straightened back out at some point. And then I think today we're going to work on this guy here. This is a Gerber, Portland, Oregon, USA. It's a nice vintage knife. Work on getting the handles sanded down, shined back up, blade cleaned up. Need a little bit of work on the tip, maybe redoing the edge. So we'll see what we can get done with that and get it all cleaned up. I don't know why people use grinders to sharpen blades. It'll be something I never understand. But that's what we're going to work on today, is this Gerber. Try to get it all cleaned up and either ready for display, or it might be something that I give to someone. I have a person in mind, but I don't know yet. We'll see once it's done, how it cleans up, how well it's working, because it's a little stiff right now. But we'll get this stuff cleared out of the way, and then I'll be back. We'll jump into this cleaning video. Alright guys, so the first thing we're going to do here on this Gerber, it's got some residue on it from stickers or whatever they had on it. So I'm going to use some of this Goo Gone. I like it because it seems to work pretty well. It doesn't have any harsh chemicals and stuff in it, and it doesn't smell half bad. So I got me some gloves on. I'm just going to kind of rub it in a little bit, and then we'll use this towel here after it soaks for a minute or two to get all that stickiness off. Then we'll work on sanding and getting the handles looking good, and then just kind of get it all cleaned up. It's obviously been used quite a bit and it's sat for quite a while, so just try to get all this buildup off of it and get it looking like new money as much as possible anyway. So I'm gonna let this sit on it for a couple minutes, and then I'll be back and we'll get it all wiped off. All right, it's been sitting a few minutes, guys. I'm gonna just go ahead and wipe it with this piece of towel I got here. And it seems like most of the adhesive has come off. It's not really sticky anymore, but we'll end up coming back and sanding all this. Sorry about that. Sometimes I bump this camera. Still something I'm getting used to. But I'm gonna try not to make this a super long video today, so I might pause and cut back and forth here and there. That way you don't have to watch every step, especially on the sanding. It's just a repetitious thing. But you know, as always, I'll start at probably about 400 on the blade and probably around 400 on the handles. Sand it out, get all these, some of these scratches out, all this stuff that's built up on it, get them all nice, smooth, and shiny. And then definitely got to work on that blade. Try to see what we can do with that edge. So we'll get all my sandpaper and stuff out, get it ready, and we'll be back. All right, guys. So I went ahead and wrapped the blade up. I normally don't, but it's got some burrs on it, I guess, from whenever they sharpened the blade. But as always, I'm gonna go ahead and start out on the handle with some 400 grit. Just see if I can get this stuff off that's built up, you know. And then of course I'm gonna take out some of those scratches, bring back out that shine on that brass. I don't know the thought process behind some of the things people do with their knives. You know, I understand that some people use them as tools, but I mean, there's a difference between using and abusing. I've enjoyed and loved knives for as long as I can remember, and you know, one of the things that my grandpa taught me when I was young is, you know, if you take care of it, it'll take care of you. You know, so I've never tried to go overboard using a knife or something it wasn't intended for. You know, obviously I'm not going to use a small folder to baton through logs, you know, unless it was just a need to emergency or something like that. But just want to get off some of this initial buildup to begin with. Some of this tarnish of years. But you can definitely tell whoever owned this, had this, they've definitely used it. I mean, there's some little knocks in it here and there. You know, it's been well used, but hopefully by the time that I get done cleaning everything and restoring as much of it as I possibly can, you'll never be able to tell that it was used as much as it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on sanding this with a 400. I'll come back here in a little bit. I'm gonna go ahead and go from 400 on up, and I'll probably come back when we're about 800 or 1,000. All right, guys, so my phone shut off on me there. I guess it was on pause too long, but this is where we're at right now at 800 grit. I did end up going down to 240 just because there was a couple spots right in here that was real rough, had some deep scratches. So I did go down to 240. I didn't want to take a ton of material off, but I did have to take a little bit just to get some of those deeper scratches out. And then I'll work my way up from 240 up to 800. So from here, we're going to go ahead and carry on with the process. We're going to go to 1,000 grit now. And I buy this sandpaper. I buy it in a pack from Amazon. It comes with everything from, I think, 240 or 320 or something like that, all the way up to 5,000. I know some of the guys out there, like Sanket Chance George, I know he likes to go up to 10,000. I do like the finish on a lot of the ones he does when he goes up to 10,000. That it gives it a beautiful mirror finish. But I'm going to go ahead and use what I've got right now. But the next time I order, I'll probably order me some that goes up to 10,000 just to get that awesome mirror finish like he does on a lot of his. But it's just a repetitive motion, guys, just back and forth sanding. I'm sure if you've got wheels, you can do a lot of this on a machine. I just prefer to do it by hand. I feel like I can control a little bit better and have more control of the outcome, you know, as far as the way it looks or the way I want it to look. But we're going to go ahead and work on up. I'll probably go all the way up to 3,000 or 5,000 on the handle just because I want this brass to shine. So as I progress, I'll come back here in just a little bit and we'll see where we're at on the handles. All right, guys, so we made our way up to 5,000. Just gonna go ahead and hit it one last time. Just get a nice shine on that. And once we're done cleaning and polishing up the blade, shining it up, getting some of them scratches and everything out, we'll come back over these handles and I'll hit them with some oil and stuff just to kind of rehydrate those handles, you know, give them a little bit of nourishment. There's no telling how long it's been since there's been any kind of oil or wax or anything on the actual handles. And then we'll probably hit the blade and stuff with the oil as well, and then hit the handle with Never Dull. So that's where we're at 5,000. Probably need to wipe it off, get some of this stuff off of it. But once we hit it with everything, it'll take out some of those surface scratches, which you can already see, you know, the reflection in a little bit. Way better than what it was. So that's up to 5,000. At the end, we'll probably hit it with a sunshine cloth as well. That'll make it really shine. But now I'm going to go ahead and get this blade unwrapped, and that way we can start sanding on the blade. All right, guys, so just like before, I'm going to start out at 400 grit, try to get some of these scratches and stuff out of the blade. I always like to use a piece of wood or something. You don't want to be doing it here and pushing down on the blade, causing any pressure in there on that pivot point where the pins are. Definitely don't want to do any damage to the pins or warp the blade or anything like that. So I always try to put it on a piece of wood, and then I always try to start off going back and forth, up and down. Doesn't always seem to work as good. Try to do it this way, unless I can see that when they've ground the blade, if it's got an up and down pattern, I'll usually come back and try to match that pattern of the original grind. But this is more of a polished blade anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit it like this on both sides, starting out at 400 and then working my way up. Probably, being that it's a polished blade, I'll probably go up to 2,000 or 3,000, if not 5,000. But I definitely want to get the edges evened out, try to reduce the visibility of some of these horrible grind marks on the blade. But just like before, I'm going to grind on this, and I'll come back here in just a bit once I've got up a little bit higher in grit. So I had to go ahead and whip out the Dremel, guys. I noticed there was some little areas right here along the back spring where the sandpaper just wasn't getting. So I did go ahead and pull it out just to get that spot right there cleaned up, and then using it down here where the lock back is, just to clean that brass up. And while we got it like that and we're using it, we might as well go ahead and fold it up a little bit. Hit that spring, get some of that buildup that's in there. But that's where we're at with that. So I'm gonna go back to sanding. Haven't made it very far. I'm at 600 grit, so haven't made it too far yet. I just wanted to let you guys know that I had to use the Dremel, hop on here and clean up that back spring and stuff like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and work forward, and I'll be back in a few. All right, guys, so this is where we're at. As of right now, at 1,000 grit, starting to get some of that shine back. It has toned down a lot of those scratches that were in there. There's a couple of spots on the blade I'm not super keen on. Looks like might have been like some pitting right there. But sometimes you just gotta let an old knife be an old knife. We're gonna keep polishing it up until we get to the desired look that we want. We'll go ahead and move up to 1200. And once I'm done doing all this, getting the knife cleaned up, I'll probably have to pull down the work sharp, and we're gonna have to probably put a new edge on this. I don't have the professional model, but I'm definitely gonna have to look into it probably, or at least the other grit stones that go on it. Sometimes the pocket knives don't fit on there into the little holder as good as I would like them. I mean, it works better on some of the more modern, larger folders. Some of the smaller, older pocket knives, it just doesn't fit in there as well. I'm sorry that my camera keeps moving, guys. I keep bumping it every time I move, and we've got to find a better way to set it up in here. That way it's not a mile away, and I'm able to record and you guys are able to see what I'm actually doing. So this is 1500. It's starting to look pretty good. I think we might actually stop at 2000. I think it'll have a nice shine on it. So go ahead and finish this up, and we'll check it out once I get done. Okay, so this is how it's looking at 2000 grit on the blades. As you can see, that slight reflection of that beautiful beard in there. But I think that's about as far as we're going to go with the blade. Now I've got to just work on cleaning out the whale, getting some stuff put on this handle to bring some life back into it. And then once we get the whale cleaned out, hopefully our spring will operate a little better. I haven't put any oil on it yet, guys. So once I start oiling it, the redneck in me was coming out there for a second, I guess. We'll put some oil on it after I get the well cleaned out, and hopefully we can get it operating a little better and get some of that snap back. All right, guys, so I'm just gonna take my little screwdriver here as always, run it down on the inside, try to scratch up as much of that stuff as possible, and I'll do this back and forth, dump it out, and I'm gonna have to get me some sandpaper running down there. So I'll get the sandpaper, and we'll be working at it here for a few minutes, and I'll be back when I got the wheel clean. Alright, so we've got the outside or the inside of the whale done as much as we can with the little screwdriver here. I'm just going to take some sandpaper. This here is 240 grit. Just going to try to finish working on that whale, getting any buildup out of there. Smooth out that edge. Looks way better in there. And then go ahead and put this towel down now. We'll go ahead and spray some of the CLP in there. And then I'll come back with my screwdriver again. I like to work that down into the lock back mechanism. along the spring. So yeah, definitely gonna have to work it down in there. No telling when the last time any kind of oil or anything was in there, so it's definitely still kind of tight, but starting to want to get a little snap. So definitely a process. Getting a little bit of snapback, but I guess the more I work with it, I think it'll come out a little bit more. You can still see there's a bunch of build up on there. But already looking way better than it did. And not really the snap that I was looking for, but a little bit. I think it's just real tight due to all the buildup that was in there. So I'll continue to work it back and forth a little bit, cleaning out the well and cleaning out that little pivot area once I move the blade back and forth. But so far, not looking too bad. I'm gonna pause and a little scuff here from something. I'll have to see what I scuffed it on, but gonna get my mink oil to put on the handle, get it set up on there and let it sit for a few minutes. But all in all, it hasn't turned out bad, so we'll check it back here in a few minutes. I'm gonna get my mink oil and I'll be right back. All right, like I told you guys before too, this is just my preference. I like the mink oil. I don't really put it on the parts of the knife that I'm going to be, cutting with or eating with most of the time. If it's a knife that's just going to be up in my display, sometimes I will, just to give it that little bit of coat of protection. But I usually just go over the wood, over the brass. Most of it's going to wipe out or wipe off. But I like to let that set in on the wood, let it soak a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and do that, let it soak for a few minutes, and then we'll come back and wipe it off. All right, guys, it's been about 5 minutes or so. So we're just going to go ahead with a clean microfiber and go ahead and wipe it down real good. And honestly, I'm not super happy with the way that brass looks at the moment. So I'm going to come back over this real fast with some 5000 grit and just see if I can get that little scuff mark off. I don't know what caused it. But just run over it real fast with that 5000 just to give it a little touch up on the finish. We'll go ahead and wipe that down one more time. And so far, that's what we got, guys. Now I'm going to get my sharpener down and getting a little bit of snapback. See about getting a new edge put on that. All right, so I got my work sharpener out. I've already put the blade into the holder here, so I want to go ahead and permanent marker. I'm just going to run right along the edge, kind of mark the edge of the blade. That way I can set the bevel. Gerber, on their older pocket knives, I know they usually use somewhere between a 15 and 17 degree bevel on each side to get roughly a 30 to 35 degree angle overall. So I've got it set at 16 right now, and I just wanted to check and see roughly how it's hitting my marker and whether or not I need to increase or decrease. So it doesn't look like it's hitting it a whole lot, so I'm going to go on up to 17. And whatever you do on one side, you need to repeat the same amount of movements on the other side. That way you get an equal bevel on both sides. I usually try to do passes of 8 or 10 each pass. So that'll put me at 24 passes. This is a good beginner sharpener. It's definitely not the greatest. I know Second Chance George has a great one I'd like to get. Just because, as you can tell, sometimes it moves. If you have a smaller blade, it doesn't want to fit in here as far as the sharpening part goes as easy. But this is just a beginner's sharpener. But again, it's just a back and forth. Just to set that original bevel. And I'll usually, with the blade being in the condition it's in right now, I'll probably go back and forth and do that a couple times just to get a more symmetrical edge. And then from there, I'm gonna go ahead and go up in grit from 320. This will bring me up to, this one is, I think this is either 600 or 800 grit. And we'll flip this back over one more time and start from the beginning again. Flip it and repeat. And if you're working on an unstable work surface that's not level, you definitely need to make sure you keep your sharpener level. This is a pretty flat area. Whenever I built it, I measured everything and got it nice and level. I just have some hassle sometimes trying to keep it straight when you got a smaller blade in here. And you got to hold it in place, got to do that. So I might end up building something on over to that side of my bench where it'll be stationary and I won't have to worry about it moving as much. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this side a few more times with this grit, and then we'll move up on to the ceramic part. All right, so now that we've gone over this multiple passes, we're going to go on over to the ceramic side. I usually try to clean it off pretty good and then repeat the process. This is going to kind of polish out the blade a little bit, take some of those little fine burrs off, and then once we're done with this, I'll come back with a strop and hit it again. Loosen this up now. And this steel needs some work on the edge, but at least it has an actual cutting edge on it now. beforehand it was pretty ate up. So it might be an edge that I'll work on refining a little bit more, but and anytime I'm grinding or stropping, I always try to do the same amount of passes on each side, just to keep everything as symmetrical as possible. Don't know how well this is going to cut yet. It was in pretty rough shape, but yeah, so it's in pretty rough shape still. So I'm definitely going to do some more sharpening on here. So just bear with me. I'm going to set it back up and see what else I can get done with it. Alright guys, so I went ahead and put it back on the sharpener, and well, it was sharp a second ago guys, I promise. Please hold. See if it'll work this time guys. Yeah, a little better, but yeah, it's definitely still gonna need some work. Or it could be the paper that I'm using. This is a piece that's been cut on 1,000 times, and so it's sharp. It cuts pretty good. It's just not where I'd like it to be yet. So I'll probably work on honing it in a little bit more, and getting it actually to where I want. But it is sharp enough. It will cut. But I'm going to go ahead and work on it a little while off camera, get it honed in to where I want it, work on that bevel some more because I'm not too happy with the way that blade looks. So I'm going to work on it, get it honed in, and then I'll come back for the finished product. Alright, so paper cutting test number 27. I finally just went in the house and got another sheet of paper, and as you can tell, cuts a whole lot better on this paper. I guess the piece that I had in here, it was just I guess due to the humidity and things like that, it just it was just wanting to kind of roll over. Doesn't help that I got these gloves on still. I can't hold on to the paper, but definitely cuts a lot better now. Now my hands are soaking wet. But definitely cuts now, in a lot better shape than it was. The edge is a lot more symmetrical. So at least we got that worked out for the most part. So it'll cut. So now I'm going to hit it with the sunshine cloth, and we'll go and see what the finished product is. Alright, so here we are guys, finished product. Had some issues cutting paper. I don't know what was going on. It cut this sheet fine. I went and got in a new sheet out of the house, and it cut through there just fine. All these other pieces, I don't know if it's because they sat in the garage and they've gotten, wet or things like that. I don't know what happened with them. But it's got a nice edge on it now. I mean, it is sharp. It'll cut hair. Compared to where we started at, it turned out to be a pretty beautiful knife. Don't know what's in store for this one yet. This is a classic looking Gerber. It's decent size. But sorry the video took a little bit longer today. I was expecting to make a shorter little cleaning video, but I could have edited out all the issues that I had, but I'd like y'all to see, that it's a process. It's not always perfect. Sometimes you have to do it over and over again, whether it's sharpness test on the paper, whether the paper's gonna cut or not. I know the blade is sharp. I cut a bunch of hair off of me already, and I just couldn't get it to cut through the paper for some reason. So got a new piece of paper out. It seemed to cut through it fine. It shined up pretty nice. I'll continue to work on it a little bit to get that snap back. It's still a little tied up in the pivot there at the pin, so I'll put some oil in that. But overall, guys, I think it turned out pretty good compared to where it was. The new edge on it, nice and clean. Got out of the majority of those deeper scratches. There's a couple left in it, but this is it, man. This is the Gerber restoration or cleanup, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Again, sorry it took longer than hoped for, and I know there's a few different breaks in the movie or in the video where I had to splice it together, where my phone either cut off or I was cleaning for so long it shut off. But all in all, this is the end process, or the process and the end result. So hopefully it'll help some of you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. But regardless, I hope you have a great rest of your week, and God bless. Well, guys, that's the video for today. Didn't go as smooth as planned, but you know, sometimes things like that happen. We can't, you know, factor in everything. Had a couple breaks in the video where either the phone shut off while I was recording, or I had a buddy of mine that stopped by for a few minutes. Issues with the paper. Again, I don't know if it was just because it's been sitting out here and it's humid out here, if the paper was just, you know, kind of soggy or whatever. Went and got a new sheet of paper. Knife cut fine. So I don't know, but sorry it was a longer video. I'd originally planned on it being a little bit shorter than what it was, but you know, those are the basic techniques I use the majority of the time. I've still been procrastinating about getting me another belt sander, so definitely go get me another one here soon. That'll definitely cut down on having to use the work sharpener as much, especially for smaller pocket knives. It works good on a lot of the larger moderns, but the vintage pocket knives, it just seems to be a little bit more of a hassle sometimes trying to get it to hold it right. Then again, I might just look into another sharpener because I do sharpen so many knives out here on a regular basis. But overall, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Remember to like, comment, share. Tell me what you would have done different if you wouldn't have. Good job, bad job, whatever. But the knife turned out pretty decent, I must say, compared to what it looked like in the beginning. It's got a lot of that shine back on it. Continue to fool with it a little bit. It's got a good snap opening, but I think there's just some build up around that pin. It's getting a little bit of the snap back. So anyways, guys, I appreciate all of y'all. I hope y'all had a great day. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Be classy, stay classy, and God bless.